Yo guys, what's up? I'm back here with another video. This is my WWE Off the Mic episode 17. Got quite a lot of news, obviously off the back of WrestleMania. You know, there's a lot of things happen on Monday Night Raw, and a lot of just general rumors that in the weeks building up there wasn't. Obviously, going into WrestleMania, there were a lot of rumors about what could happen in such matches and stuff like that, but. Obviously one of the most exciting times for WWE fans is just after WrestleMania, because obviously you get the Raw post WrestleMania, which is usually has some debuts from new people or returns from injured guys, which we obviously saw with like Cesaro coming back, and then we had Apollo Crews, Enzo, and Big Cass. So, like I said in my Raw review, it was a decent Raw, because it's always going to be a decent Raw after WrestleMania, because you're going to get new guys and it's the start of a new season basically for WWE. But it wasn't as good as past WrestleMania Raws, but it was okay. In this episode though, I got some news on Bobby Roode, John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Shaquille O'Neal, which I'll start that one off now and get that out the way. So apparently the big stare down at WrestleMania between Shaquille O'Neal and Big Show. The rumor is that WWE in Orlando next year for WrestleMania 33 could be planning a Shaquille O'Neal versus Big Show match, one-on-one match, which, seriously, who cares? Like, that match is, to say that match is uninteresting is, being nice, but at this point it's just a rumor. We're just past WrestleMania 32, but, WWE does start planning ahead for straight away basically. So I would not be surprised, because there was obviously a lot of like tension and build up between the stare down between both guys. So that doesn't make sense if you're not going to pursue anything with that. But I just think that doesn't really need to happen at WrestleMania 33. But obviously they like to have a celebrity type person in the ring at WrestleMania. So I do think it's an option that they might go with for next year and next year's WrestleMania. I just don't think anyone will care. But yeah, that's the news on that. The next news on John Cena I wanted to talk about is obviously he made his return at WrestleMania to help out The Rock versus the Wyatt family, which at the time I was really, really excited to see, with what was going on with The Rock and John Cena being in the same ring and basically taking down the Wyatt family. I just thought it was a really cool moment. But looking back on it, I do think it buried the Wyatt family, and I just think it's an absolute shame that Bray Wyatt has said himself in the last couple of days that WWE still doesn't know how to use the Wyatt family. So they don't know how to use the Wyatt family, but burying them is acceptable. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know why The Rock couldn't have played a part in the main event. In my opinion, The Rock should not have been anywhere. He shouldn't have had anything to do with the Wyatt family, not bury the Wyatt family. And instead of that, you just have The Rock in the main event picture, do something to help Roman Reigns win. Roman Reigns doesn't want The Rock's credit for getting the win, and basically turns on The Rock and turns heel. That would have been my way of going about it, but obviously Roman Reigns and heel turn in the same sentence just makes Vince McMahon sick, so he's never going to do that. But yeah, so The Rock and John Cena, I was really pumped when The Rock came out, but I knew that was going to happen. But when John Cena came out, that was amazing. But looking back on it, the fact that they buried the Wyatt family is, sucks, to be fair. But yeah, the news on John Cena is that although he made his return at WrestleMania and he, had that part to play, he isn't expected to be, back full time, right now. So obviously, I kind of expected him, to return at WrestleMania for a small part to play in something, but I didn't, with the news that broke out before, John Cena was apparently, medically cleared. Yes, he could medically be cleared to do a small part, but that doesn't mean he's medically cleared, for matches week after week. So like I said a couple of weeks back, well, last week I think in episode 16, that he was medically cleared, but the rumors were he was going to be out till July. So I definitely think he'll be back in the next couple months full time, but just not right now. He'll definitely be back before SummerSlam. Apparently, SummerSlam is already like sold out, and it's going to be one of the biggest SummerSlams of all time. So John Cena's not going to miss that. He's going to be 100% back for that, and I would guess in the next couple of months he's going to 100% be back. Full fitness, full go. Appearing on every Raw basically. But I just, even with his cameo appearance at WrestleMania, I didn't envision him sticking around every week. He might be on some Raws here or there, but he won't be here full time for the next couple of months, I would say. So, but yeah, it's still going to be exciting times when John Cena comes back. Because obviously with the tag team division in WWE getting a lot better with Enzo and Big Cass and the Vaudevillains who debuted on SmackDown. And then Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin coming up to the main roster. Some amazing talent, and obviously Cesaro's return. The main roster is looking a whole lot better right now. And if you add John Cena into that in the next couple of months, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, who could be back in the next couple of weeks, the main roster and the array of matches that they can have and main event type guys is really unseen before, because they're going to have the potential to have so many great matches and main event guys all on the roster at one time. It's looking really, really good for WWE right now, as long as they, it's always the same thing. They've always had the talent, especially now though. It's whether they make the storylines, and if they can build the right storylines and build the right matches. So, yeah, John Cena should be back, very soon, but not full time for at least a little while. Next news is Roman Reigns. Obviously, Roman Reigns winning the WWE World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania. His appearance on Raw was, I would say, it's one of the worst I've seen in terms of boos. It was, I mean, they were barely letting him speak. As he went to speak, it was just getting louder and louder. It was pretty bad. You could tell with what he said. When he basically just said, come on guys, I'm not a bad guy. That literally seemed genuine, that he didn't know why it was like that, why they were being like that towards him. The thing is he at blame for a lot of the heat he's getting? I guess you could say that. He's probably, not helped himself out in a lot of occasions, but a lot of it I do think has come to, WWE and the way they've pushed him. A lot of people are just hating him because he's being pushed as the top guy. And I understand that a lot of people don't like that. But in my opinion, a lot of fans also, it's not just that. It's a lot of fans would like to like him. It's just he's being pushed as the top guy the wrong way. That's the trouble. That there is a right and bad way to pushing someone as the top guy. But they've completely pushed him the wrong way. And, they've made stuff so predictable and silly that it's the fans click onto it straight away, and it's not genuine, it's not proper. So the worry with Roman Reigns is that is he ever going to get over basically? And in my honest opinion, he needs to turn heel first. He needs to turn heel, and then you go from there, because Stone Cold said it recently. I've mentioned it before. It's like going, repeating myself. It's like a broken record. You turn the guy heel. Yes, he was a heel as the Shield, but that's the Shield. He needs to be a heel by himself. He needs to have a run as WWE World Heavyweight Champion, as a heel, like Seth Rollins did last year. A long, run with the title as a heel, and then you turn him face, and that's it. All the top guys in the past have done that. They've been a heel before a face. Then, if the reaction's still not great after then it legitimately will never work. But if you turn him heel, and he builds up a great character as a heel, and the fans, they start to really get into his character, and then you turn him face, I reckon Roman Reigns can do it, and he could be one of the top baby faces that's liked by everyone. But it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen until you turn him heel first. So that's my opinion on that. But the news with Roman Reigns is he's apparently got a lot of backstage heat with other in-ring wrestlers. Not only, it's not just like producers or whatever. It's at the actual wrestlers. He's part of the main roster is not happy that Roman Reigns apparently missed some weeks building up to WrestleMania. The news is that some of the guys in WWE didn't think that Roman Reigns should be in the main event if he was going to miss time on TV leading up to WrestleMania, which I guess is fair enough. But I mean, he legitimately had to have surgery. Sorry, guys. Which is fair enough. I still think obviously he could have, he didn't have to be there in a wrestling type of situation. He could have appeared in a non-wrestling role, but I mean, he legitimately did need surgery. But I don't, I guess that didn't, mean he didn't have to be on TV altogether. I mean, again, I can understand where some of them are coming from, but there's not much you can really say about it. Vince McMahon, they're gonna keep pushing Roman Reigns. I'm fine with it, but I just, wish it was done the right way, and I hope they turn him heel because, if they go on and on like this for another couple of years, let's say, just as an example, it's not only still not going to work, but there's a real chance it's going to ruin his career, and in my opinion, that would be a real shame that someone's career is tarnished and just really dented basically and ruined because they've continued to push him, which is fine. It's just the complete wrong way of doing it. So that's my opinion on that. But yeah, apparently he's been getting a lot of backstage heat from other in-ring guys on the main roster, which, to be honest, guys, this has happened over generations. The guys who are at the top always do get some heat because they're at the top and the others aren't. But I do see it being for a couple of different reasons, and those are reasons that are avoidable. But we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, we've got Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles for the WWE title as his next feud, and that should be an incredible match. I think it's going to happen at Payback, or when I think Payback's the next pay-per-view. If it's not Payback, it's the next pay-per-view, but I'm pretty sure it's Payback. So yeah, guys, that's the news on that. And the last thing I wanted to mention was Bobby Roode. Obviously, for you guys who watched NXT and can't even talk now, NXT Takeover Dallas, he was in the crowd during the show, which was pretty beast. When he came on like the Titantron screen, crowd went insane, which obviously was going to happen. Bobby Roode is an amazing wrestler, amazing guy, and yeah, it's going to be amazing to see him in NXT. Obviously, he signed a contract with WWE, but that means he's going to be in NXT. Obviously, with the potential of Samoa Joe going to the main roster, it's going to be interesting to see where people like Austin Aries, because I thought Austin Aries was going to keep his feud with Baron Corbin going, but obviously Baron Corbin coming up to the main roster, that's left Austin Aries with where do you go from here with him? Same with Shinsuke Nakamura. He's not in a feud with Sami Zayn. Bobby Roode now is going to be debuting soon, so you've got all these new guys on the NXT roster. Obviously, you still got Finn Balor as champion. I would reckon that one of these three is going to get involved in a feud with Finn Balor right away in the near future, because those three guys are easily potential NXT champions. And some people see NXT going with Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor for a third time. I don't. I think there's more chance Samoa Joe making his main roster debut, or even Finn Balor making his main roster debut, than having another match. But I think one of those three guys is going to be in the title picture right away. So, but yeah, with Bobby Roode signing that with NXT losing Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin and a few more people like that, it kind of lessens the the dent on the NXT roster by bringing in a Bobby Roode. It just it keeps the roster just building and going, and NXT is just doing an amazing job at that. Whenever they lose someone, it's not really impacting the roster because they're bringing someone else in. So that's going to be really cool to see where they go with him on NXT. And yeah, guys, that's my episode 17. I hope you enjoyed. As always, leave a like, share, subscribe to the channel. and comment down below the video. But yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoyed, and see you soon, guys. Bye.